To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
So my dear children, now it's time to discuss several questions and to retarnish our, we are going to replenish our knowledge by using the questions given from your textbook first. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the questions regarding the textbook. Then after that, we'll be discussing several other questions, several extra questions related to the lesson. Okay, so now let's head on to observe what are the questions given in your textbook first. So the first question which is given here, you have to select the correct answer. So MCQ type questions are given at the first. So the first question which is being asked is, what is the most suitable statement below to describe a solar system? Most suitable statement to describe a solar system, my dear children. So you know that if you take a solar system, in a particular solar system, sun is at the middle. Sun is a type of a star. I told you that sun is a type of a star. Sun is an example for a star. That is why it is going to produce the huge amount of light energy and heat energy upon the nuclear reactions that are going to occur within the star. Okay, so sun is a particular star. So that star is going to produce huge amount of light and heat energy. So it's a source of energy. Okay, so around this star, all the other planets are revolving. Around this star, all the other planets are revolving, mainly because of the gravitational pull or the gravitational force. Okay, so let's see what are the things given, and from that we'll select a correct answer. So the most suitable statement below to describe a solar system: a cluster of stars revolving around an object. Cluster of stars, no, it's incorrect. Here stars is the one which is incorrect. It's not stars, right? Stars are not going to revolve around an object. Planets are going to revolve around a star, right? So that's the incorrect reason. A star revolving around a number of objects, once again, is incorrect. Star is not going to revolve. Star is the thing which is here, which is getting incorrect. Okay. Next one, number of objects revolving around a star. So we'll keep that thing, it's somewhat equal, right? Somewhat similar to the solar system. But however, instead of objects, if it is given as planets, then it would be great. But however, it can be, like when you take the solar system, not only the planets, but also there are satellites as well. So we can refer that thing as objects, no problem in it. But however, we go for the fourth one as well. Let's check whether that answer is correct or not. Right? If not, the most suitable answer is third one. Okay, so we'll go for the fourth one as well. Object revolving around a cluster of stars. Once again, it's incorrect. Actually, cluster of stars means it's like several stars. Okay, several number of stars. So solar system, within the solar system, there are no number of stars. However, but there is only one star, right? So my dear children, the fourth statement is incorrect. It's because regarding the cluster, it's regarding a cluster of stars. That's why it is incorrect. So the correct answer would be what? Number of objects revolving around a star. Number of objects revolving around a star. That's the most suitable answer. Because we can say that instead of planets, we can say that objects. No problem in it. Because there are satellites, artificial satellites, even the ISS, International Space Station, all of these things are going to revolve around the sun. but mainly those things are revolving around the planets, and also planets are the ones which are going to revolve around the sun. So automatically each and every object which is placed on the solar system is going to revolve around the sun. So there is no problem in it. So we can say that there are different objects. Planets are the more suitable one, but however we can say that objects which are going to revolve around a sun. Sun is a star. So different objects which are going to revolve around a star is referred as a solar system. Okay. False statement. So you have to select the false statement here. False one. Sun is smaller than moon. My God, what a terrible mistake, right? It's actually not a mistake. That's the false one. A terrible false one. What is that? It is saying that the sun is smaller than the moon. A terrible false one, right? Sun is way more greater than each and every planet in our solar system. So how can you compare it with the size of the moon, right? Nothing to compare in it. Then how could we can see that the sun and the moon at the same or like closely related size? It's because the distance. I told you that. Because the sun is at very far away from us. But however, moon is somewhat closer. So therefore, we can observe these two objects somewhat, somewhat closely related or closer in size to each other. Because the sun is at very far, however, the moon is somewhat closer. So the false statement is, first and foremost answer is very wrong. Because sun is way more larger than all the other objects contained in our solar system. Next one, sun is a source of energy. Absolutely correct. Sun is a source of energy. I told you that sun is going to provide light and heat energy, right? So when you take the planet Earth, the planet Earth is going to receive light and heat energy mainly from sun. So it's a main source of light and heat energy. So it is correct. Next one, planets revolve around it. Correct? No problem in that thing. Situated 150 million kilometers away from the Earth. So about 150 kilometers. So it is correct. No problem. In which constellation is the star Polaris that helps to find the north? So Polaris is located at the tail end of Ursa Minor, my dear children. At the tail end of Ursa Minor. I think these things are straightforward theory questions, right? When we are discussing about the Ursa Minor, we discussed that at the tail end of the Ursa Minor, Polaris is located. Okay, Polaris. So Polaris can be observed at the tail end of Ursa Minor. Okay, Ursa Minor. Not on Ursa Major, but on Ursa Minor. Right then. The brightest star in the sky, Sirius, can be found in constellation Canis Major. So once again, you have to select the false statement over here. So the statement given, brightest star in the sky, Sirius, can be found in the constellation Canis Major. Venus can be observed with naked eye. Sun is the nearest star to the Earth. Polaris belong to constellation Ursa Major. Right, so you have to find out the false statement. Brightest star in the sky, Sirius, can be found in the constellation Canis Major. Correct, right? It's correct. There's no problem in it. This is correct. Within Canis Major, you can observe Sirius. It's correct. This is correct. Venus can be observed with naked eye. Once again, it is correct. My dear children, Venus is very bright. Apart from Moon, Venus is the brightest object which we can observe during the night sky. Second brightest object that we can observe within the night sky is the Venus. First and foremost bright object is the moon. Second most bright object is the planet Venus. Right? Planet Venus. So Venus can be observed from our naked eye. There is no problem in it. It is correct. Sun is the nearest star to the Earth. What can you say about that thing? So when I was talking about those constellation parts and the stars and planets, my dear children, I think I remembered you. Sun is a star. Okay, Sun is a star. So the question is asking, or the statement which is given, the closest star to planet Earth, not in the night time period, but when you consider about day or night, whatever, the closest star, it's not mentioned as night. So therefore, my dear children, this answer is absolutely correct. Why is that? Because Sun is a star. So Sun is like 150 kilometers away from us. 150 millions of kilometers away from us. Okay, not just 150 millions of kilometers away from us. When you take the other stars, those are like light years away from us. So I mentioned you about what do you mean by light years and difference between light years and kilometers, right? So actually those things are related to each other, but however when you take light year is way more greater than kilometers. There are like trillions of kilometers within one light year. Okay, but here we are discussing about millions of kilometers. So trillions are like way more greater than millions, no? So my dear children, Sun, yes, the Sun is a star which is the closest star to our planet Earth. There is no problem in it. It is absolutely correct. Polaris belong to the constellation Ursa Major. Now if you check the previous question, see this one, constellations, the constellation which is the Polaris is located. That's the constellation, that's the question which is given in the third one. So we took that answer as Ursa Minor. So in the next question itself, my dear children, they are mentioned in Polaris belong to the constellation Ursa Major. In the earlier case, I told you that it is belong to the Ursa Minor, at the tail end of the Ursa Minor. So by just looking at this question, you can select the incorrect answer for this thing. What is that? Absolutely the fourth one, right? The fourth one should be the answer, because Polaris is not going to belong to Ursa Major. It's belong to Ursa Minor. Polaris is belong to Ursa Minor. So in the previous question also we discussed that. It belongs to Ursa Minor. Okay, it belongs to Ursa Minor. So my dear children, the incorrect answer would be fourth answer. Right? Polaris belongs to the constellation Ursa Major is the incorrect answer. Okay, that's the incorrect answer. Then the fifth question, my dear children. Let's see what is the question number 5. What is the false statement given below? Once again, you have to select the false statement. False statement. The seasonal changes occur due to Earth's revolution. Seasonal changes occur due to Earth's revolution. Correct, right? Because of the revolution of the Earth around our sun, right? Seasonal changes occur. No problem. It is correct. Because of the uneven distribution of solar rays, seasonal changes occur mainly. This uneven distribution of solar rays occur because of the tilt and because of the revolution of the planet Earth around the sun. So the given statement is correct. There is no problem in it. Phases of moon occurs due to the moon's revolution. Correct. Moon is going to revolve around our planet Earth. Because of the revolution of moon around our planet Earth, we can observe different phases of moon. So there is no problem in it. That is also correct. Solar eclipse occur when the moon stays in between Earth and Sun. Correct, right? Sun, Earth, then the moon. So when moon comes in between Sun and Earth, this particular region will not be able to observe the sun, right? Because of the shadow of the moon which is falling on this particular area. So it is correct. And you know that if you draw another two lines like this, we can get the penumbral region as well. But however, those things are not needed, no. Here they are asking, the question is just saying that solar eclipse occur when moon stays in between Earth and Sun. So it is correct. When moon is going to locate between Sun and Earth, solar eclipse is going to occur because the shadow of the moon falls on a particular place of the planet Earth. So it is correct, no problem. Then the incorrect one should be the fourth one, we'll see. Partial lunar eclipse. Partial lunar eclipse occurs when moon enter to the penumbra of the Earth. Totally incorrect. Why is that? Because this is how we draw, right? The lunar eclipses. This is moon, umbra, penumbra. So, when the moon is at the penumbra region, penumbra of the Earth, when the moon is at the penumbra of the Earth, this is not a partial lunar eclipse. Partial lunar eclipse occur, it's going to occur, right? It's going to occur when the location is like this, my dear children. So this is the umbra, this is the penumbra, right? Ash color one is the penumbra. So when our moon is going to locate, or when our moon is going to be in this kind of a place where one half is at the umbra region and the other portion is at the penumbra region. Now this is a partial lunar eclipse. This is referred as the penumbral lunar eclipse. So in order to be a partial lunar eclipse, so here they are mentioning about the partial lunar eclipse, my dear children. See, partial lunar eclipse. Partial lunar eclipse occurs when the moon enters to the penumbra of the Earth. Incorrect. So when it is at the penumbral region, when the moon is at the penumbra region, my dear children, this lunar eclipse is referred as penumbral lunar eclipse, not the partial one. This is the partial lunar eclipse. Here within the partial lunar eclipse, one portion is at the umbra and the other is at the penumbra. Okay. So our incorrect answer is this one. This is the incorrect answer. Partial lunar eclipse occurs when moon enters to the penumbra of the earth. Incorrect. It's not going to enter to the penumbra, but however, half is at the penumbra and half is at the umbra. That's how, right? That's how the partial lunar eclipse is going to occur. So the fourth answer is incorrect. Next one. So here it is given, after observing the night sky, 2 students in grade 8 came out with the following ideas. Student A: when I was watching the night sky yesterday, I saw a star passed very speedily, increasing its brightness and vanished at once. Now see the key points. Star passed very speedily, increasing brightness and vanishing. So this is like a meteor. This is like a meteor, my dear children. Why is that? Because meteor is moving very faster in our atmosphere. However, when it is going to enter to our atmosphere, it's going to burn out. So upon burning, my dear children, what will happen? It's going to vanish. After some time, it's going to vanish. Okay? So due to the resistance force given out by our air particles contained within the atmosphere, the meteoroids are going to burn. Right? Meteoroids are going to burn. Meteors are going to burn. Right? So suddenly when a meteor is going to come, the brightness of the meteor will increase at a certain time period for like very frame of a time period, very small frame of a time period. However, it's going to vanish at the next frame. Okay, so this is like a meteor. This is like a meteor. Okay, so the first question is asked, what can be the object that a student observed? So student A, he has observed a meteor. Meteor. Okay. Then the next one, what can be the object that B student observed? So let's go for the B statement then. I was watching the night sky yesterday about 7 p.m. I saw a star traveling fast between other stars. It traveled from north to south. Now it's been traveled from north to south means on a straight line, on a particular straight line, it's been moved. Okay, we can say that it's been moving to it's moving on a straight line from north to south direction. From north to south direction. Definitely this one should be a artificial satellite. It should be an artificial satellite, my dear children, because it's moving on a straight line from one particular direction to another particular direction. It's not like falling, unlike the other instance. So definitely this one should be an artificial satellite. Okay, so we can write the answer. Artificial satellite. Right, artificial satellite. This should be an artificial satellite. Okay, right then. So these are the answers for the question given here. So if an object which is going to fall down at a very higher speed, at a greater speed, at one point giving out a bright flame, or at one point if it is going to provide a very bright point, then my dear children, it can be a meteor. Then if a star-like object which is going to move from one place to another in a straight line, then it can be a artificial satellite. Okay. So my dear children, once again, here the student A, he was observing a star-like object passing very speedily and increasing brightness. Then once again it vanished. So it can be a meteor as it is vanishing. So I told you that upon entering a meteor to our atmosphere, because of the resistance given out by the air particles, it start to burn. So at a certain time it's going to vanish. Then the second one, when this person is watching, right, about 7 p.m., a star-like object traveled from north to south direction. So it can be artificial satellite. Here there is a satellite double L and TE, right? Right. Artificial satellite. Right. So a person B observed an artificial satellite. It can be an artificial satellite. We don't know for sure. But however, by looking at these observations, we can see that, or we can conclude that this might be an artificial satellite. Okay. Right then. Question number 2. Fill in the blanks of the following diagrams with the given terms. Sun, Moon, Earth, umbra and penumbra. Sun, Moon, Earth, umbra and penumbra. Right. When you check the first figure, my dear children, within the first figure, the object B, it is the smallest object when you are going to check the size of A and D. So this is like a solar eclipse. Definitely we know that A is the sun, the largest object. D should be, right here, D should be Earth, as it is way more larger than the object B, which is the moon. Right? So we can identify the 3 celestial objects which are in the diagram. A definitely is the sun. There is no argument in that, because it is the largest object, sun. Then D should be, my dear children, it should be Earth. B should be moon. So this is similar to the solar eclipse incident. Actually, the figure is going to show a solar eclipse. This is how the solar eclipse is going to occur. So the area which is on C part over here, that's the umbra, because the shadow, the dark area of the shadow is indicated at the middle part, like in here on C. So umbra is the C. Umbra is the C. Umbra. Then, my dear children, E area, this area, apart from the umbra, the 2 other regions, light color regions, those areas are the penumbra. Right? So penumbra. So once again, A is the sun, the largest object. B is the moon, the smallest one from the 3 objects. D is the earth. Area C refers the umbra region. Area E refers to the penumbra region. Okay, umbra and penumbra. Then the second figure. So this is very simple, my dear children. First of all, let's identify the celestial objects. P, the largest one, should be the sun. U should be the Earth because it is smaller than Sun but greater than Q. Q should be the Moon, right? So U is Earth, U is Earth, which is somewhat smaller than the Sun, and Q should be Q, U should be Earth, Q over here, that one should be the Moon. So this is the occurrence of, this figure shows the occurrence of a lunar eclipse. So Q is the Moon, P is the Sun, this object U over here is the Earth. Now we need to select the two areas. So area T, that's the area which has the darkest shadow. So that should be the umbra region, umbra. So T refers to the umbra region. T is umbra. R and its regions are penumbra. Penumbra. Right? Penumbra. So once again, my dear children, in the second figure, this is the diagram of a lunar eclipse. Above one, diagram of a solar eclipse. So here, largest object is Sun, which is P. The second largest one is U, which is the Earth. Smallest object is Q, which is the Moon. And at the center, you can observe the umbra region. And at the two sides of the, or at the either side of the umbra region, R and S, you can observe the penumbra region. Okay, penumbra region. So these are the answers for the second question, my dear children. Right. So now with that question, we have finished answering all the questions related to the textbook, my dear children. Now it's time to discuss several MCQ questions regarding the lesson. Okay, several MCQ questions. But however, the first type of extra questions given here is also regarding MCQ types. So we'll answer these MCQ type questions first and then we'll refer the other types of questions. Okay, so you are given with several MCQ questions. The first question, only planet with life in our solar system. Only planet, right? The one and only planet that has life in our solar system. Very simple question. Up to now, we haven't found out any form of life in the other planets. However, if you take the planet Earth is pretty much alive. Alive means, here we can observe different life forms. So organisms are living in planet Earth. Planet Earth is the only planet that has life. So within our solar system, my dear children, the only planet that has life is what? Planet Earth. Planet Earth is our answer. The largest planet of the solar system. Very simple. The largest planet of the solar system is planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet. So the second most largest planet is the planet Saturn. Saturn is the second largest one. Our Earth is the fifth largest planet. Our Earth is fifth largest planet. First is Jupiter, second is Saturn. Okay. So the largest planet in our solar system is the Jupiter. Even though it is a gaseous planet, it is the largest one. Right. The red planet is called to red planet. So red planet, when we are discussing about the structure related to the solar system, even we conducted a small bit of an experiment. Actually, it's not an experiment. I have prepared a small bit of a demonstration regarding that planets thing. And in that planets thing, my dear children, in that structure, I have even used the red color to indicate a certain planet. This red color is usually given to the planet Mars, right? Planet Mars. So planet Mars is the planet that can be observed in red color. So actually planet Mars can also be visible as a red color planet. So that's why it is given as the red planet, given as the name as red planet. So the red planet is called to planet Mars. Planet Mars. Number 4, planet without a moon. So planets that do not have moons. So there are 2 planets which do not have moons, right? In our solar system, there are 2 planets which do not have moons. Those are the 2 main planets which are located very near to our sun also, right? So those 2 planets are planet Venus and planet Mercury. Mercury and Venus, they do not have any moons. All the other planets have at least 1 moon. But however, Mercury and Venus, they do not have moons. So Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Uranus. So our correct answer should be what? Venus. I told you that Mercury and Venus, they do not have moons. Right then. Number of moons in planet Earth. Very simple, right? Number of moons in planet Earth. So if you take the planet Earth, we have 1 subplanet or else 1 moon, right? Only 1 moon. For our Earth, there is only 1 moon. So the moon itself is the subplanet or the moon that contained or that's going to revolve around our planet Earth. So the number of moons in our planet Earth is exactly 1. Next one. Planets revolve around the sun because of. So planets are you know that planets are going to revolve around the sun. The question is asking why it is going to happen. We know that, my dear children, sun is having a very high mass, a very greater mass, as it is a large celestial object. Due to having this extreme mass, the gravitational force created out by the sun is also very high. This gravitational force is the main reason. That's the main reason behind the revolution of planets around the sun. So the answer would be not high speed, not the heavier mass, but the gravity of sun. The gravitational force of the sun is the main reason behind for the revolution of planets around the sun. Each and every planet is going to revolve around the sun because of the gravitational force. That's the force which helps to bind the sun apart, the sun with the planet, with the exterior planet. So because of having that force, the planets are going to revolve around the sun. Okay, the planets are going to revolve around the sun. Even we discussed a small bit of an activity to observe this effect of gravity, right? So the gravitational force is the main reason behind the revolution of planets around the sun, right there. The closest planet to sun is, it's very simple, my dear children. The closest planet to sun is the planet Mercury. So the first answer itself is correct. The closest planet to sun is the planet Mercury. Mercury. Next one, planet that exists in gaseous nature. Planet that exists in gaseous nature. So there are several planets which are going to exist in the gaseous nature. However, we know that there are 4 planets in the solid state. What are those 4? Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. These 4 planets can be observed in the solid form. I mean, like they have a crust. We can stand on these planets without any trouble. However, my dear children, all the other planets are referred as gaseous giants because there are no any crust. Okay, there are no any crust. If you land on these other planets, definitely you won't be able to stand. Okay, it's because those things are made up with only gases. There's no crust. So the answer for the planet that exists in the gaseous state would be not Mercury, not Earth, not Venus, not Mars either, right? The correct answer is Jupiter. Remember, Mercury, Earth, Venus and Mars, all of these 4 planets, they can be observed in the solid nature. Okay, they have a crust, but all the other planets are observed as observed in gaseous nature, right? Earth has a tilt of, very simple, Earth has a tilt of 23.5 degrees. Earth is showing a tilt of 23.5 degrees to its orbital plane. Okay, to the orbital plane, Earth is showing 23.5 degree of a tilt, right, of an angle, right? This is the reason this is the main reason for the occurrence of seasonal changes in our planet Earth, and also the revolution of the planet Earth around the sun is also a reason for the seasonal changes. But however, seasonal changes mainly occur because of this tilt. The tilt is going to give out uneven distribution of solar rays. Next one, closest star to the planet Earth. Closest star to the planet Earth. So we were discussing about this thing when we are discussing the questions regarding the textbook, right? I told you that the closest star to our planet Earth is none other than the sun. Okay, they are not mentioning about any other special cases like the night sky or any other. So therefore, the closest star to our planet Earth is the sun, because sun is a star, right? So sun is the closest star to our planet Earth, right? Closest star to planet Earth is the sun, right there. Which is the smallest planet in the solar system? So Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and also Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system. It is the smallest one in our solar system, and it is also the closest one to the sun, right? Specialty in Mercury. And it is also one of the 4 planets which are available in solid state. Mercury. So planet Mercury, it is the closest to the sun. It is the smallest in the solar system, and it is also one planet from the 4 planets which are available in solid state. So the closest one and the smallest planet in our solar system is, my dear children, planet Mercury. Planet Mercury. So smallest planet in the solar system is planet Mercury. Next one, the planet with maximum number of moons. So this is very simple to remember. The one which has the highest mass, or one which is the largest planet, that's the planet which has highest number of moons, right? Highest number of moons can be observed for the planet that has the largest size. So Mars, Jupiter, Venus and Uranus, out of these things, select the largest one. Largest one is the Jupiter. So Jupiter has the largest number of moons around it. Jupiter has the largest or maximum number of moons around it. Okay. So the answer for the 12th question would be planet Jupiter, right? It has the maximum number of moons. It has the maximum number of moons, my dear children. Okay. Right then. So my dear children, let's move on to see what is the next question. So this is question number 12. Now let's head on to see the question number 13. The status of Pluto is demoted to dwarf planet, asteroid, comet, a meteor. So Pluto is the 9th planet. So there are 8 planets in our solar system right now. Okay. What are those 8 planets? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Right? So these are the 8 planets that is available in our solar system right now. However, there was another planet which is called as Pluto. Pluto was expelled from our solar system because I told you that Pluto took so much longer time to revolve one cycle around our sun. Right? And also the size of Pluto, when you take the size of Pluto, that is also somewhat smaller. Regarding these two cases, because of these two cases, my dear children, scientists have demoted from the position of a planet to a dwarf planet. Dwarf planet. Pluto was demoted to a dwarf planet. So it is not considered as a planet right now. It is a dwarf planet. Pluto is there, but it is not considered as a planet. So within our solar system, we consider that there are only 8 planets. Pluto is being expelled from the planetary system. Right? So it is being demoted to a dwarf planet. Because of those two reasons. It is a smaller one and also it takes much longer time to revolve or to complete one cycle around our planet, around our sun. Okay, around our sun. So Pluto is revolving around our sun by taking much longer time. And also it is a smaller one. So that's why the position from planet to dwarf planet, it's been demoted. Okay. The planet with rings around it. Planet that has rings. Okay, planet that has rings. Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. A good question. Now, once again, it is given all of above. Right? So, the planet with rings around it. All of a sudden, when you read this question, my dear children, I know that you go for the answer what? Saturn. Because you know that there are plenty of rings around Saturn. But however, if you go for the Saturn, then this is the one you will be receiving. It's wrong. Right? It's not the answer. There are several other planets that has rings. Not only Saturn. That's why I told you that you have to find out even more things regarding the lesson. So these things will be come out to us when we are discussing questions. So not only Saturn, my dear children. If you take Uranus, Uranus also contains what? Rings around it. Neptune also has rings around it. Even the Jupiter has rings around it. Not only the Saturn. However, the rings of Saturn is clearly visible for us. But my dear children, all of these planets contained in the answers A, B and C, all of these planets contain rings. So the correct answer would be all the above. Right? Remember, Saturn is not only the Saturn is that is also having some kind of rings, but however, that's not the planet which has only rings. Okay, there are several other planets that has rings. These are examples: Uranus, Neptune. Right? However, those things are not that much clearly visible to us. Even though those things are not clearly visible to us, these things contains rings. Okay. Right then, question number 15. Who was the first person to reach the space? The first person to reach the space. They are not mentioning about a gender. Right? The first person to reach the space. So in simple, we can say that the first astronaut who reached the space. So as they are not mentioning about a special gender, my dear children, answer for this question would be the astronaut Yuri Gagarin. He was a Russian astronaut. He was the first and foremost person to conquer the outer space. Okay, he was the first and foremost person to reach the outer space. Yuri Gagarin. This lady, Valentina Tereshkova, is the first female to conquer the outer space. Okay, to reach the outer space. So as they are not mentioning a gender, our answer should be after, like when we take Yuri Gagarin, he was the first and foremost person. After that, Valentina Tereshkova reached the space. Okay. So as they are not mentioning about gender, the first and foremost person to reach the space is Yuri Gagarin. Okay. A Russian astronaut. Next one. Moon orbits the Earth every 27.3 days. Moon is going to complete one cycle around our planet Earth once every 27.3 days. So that's the revolution time of the moon around our planet Earth, 27.3 days. Right? So that's why you can observe full moon days like around once every 28 days. Okay, around once every 28 days you can observe the full moon. Right? Around means actually it's not going to happen exactly at 28, but however at around 28 days you can observe full moons. Okay, right then. So this is the answer for the question number 16. Then the 17th one. Which of the following is at the center of the solar system? Right? So asking about the center of the solar system. So you have to select the celestial object which is at the center of the solar system. So when you take the solar system, right, at the center of the solar system, you can observe the sun. Because sun is at the center and all the other planets and all the other celestial objects in our solar system revolves around the sun. So sun is at the middle, all the other planets are revolving, all the other objects are revolving around the sun. Sun center, all the ones are revolving around it. So at the center of our solar system, my dear children, we can observe what? We can observe the sun. Right? Not the earth, not the moon, not the Mars, but the sun. Okay? Sun is the center. So it's like this. Right? This is the sun. So These are the orbits. Closer to here you can observe Mercury, then Venus, right? Then the Earth, Mars, and so on. So Sun is at the middle. Sun is at the middle. This is our solar system. So at the midpoint or at the center of our solar system, we can observe Sun. Next one. Which planet takes the least time to complete one revolution around the Sun? Mars, Earth, Mercury, and Venus. Our answer is, my dear children, Mercury. Let me explain why it is Mercury. So Mercury is the planet which is going to take very less time to revolve around Sun. When you take the orbit of Mercury has a less length. Oh, when you take the circumference, actually mentioning the circumference is not correct, because these things are at elliptical paths. Okay, circumference can be observed in a circle, no? So these orbits are elliptical. However, up to your knowledge, it's okay to mention as circumference, but we have to learn the correct thing, no? So mentioning the circumference is not that much probable for an elliptical path. So when you take the elliptical path of the Mercury, as you can see here, length is very less. When you take the length of that one, that's very less. And the other thing is that, so as the length is less, right, when you know that when there is lesser length, it can travel very quickly around the Sun. And the other thing is that, my dear children, when you take the gravitational effect given out by the Sun, if it is very closer to the Sun, then the gravitational effect given out by the Sun is also going to be very high. So due to that gravity, the speed of the motion around the Sun is also going to increase. So because of these two main reasons, the planet Mercury has the lowest time to complete one cycle around our Sun. So when the planets are going to be closer to Sun, their revolution time is going to reduce. So Mercury is the closest one to the Sun. Therefore, Mercury is going to revolve around our Sun very quickly, right? So it is the planet which takes the least time to complete one cycle around our Sun. So Mercury is our answer, my dear children. Mercury is the planet that takes the least time to complete one revolution around our Sun. Okay, right. Who was the first person to step foot on the Moon? The first person to step foot on the Moon. Right. So this is very simple, my dear children. From the spaceship Apollo 11, this person set foot on the Moon. So the first and foremost person who was able to set foot on the Moon was the American astronaut Neil Armstrong. After that, from the same country, that means from United States, Edwin Aldrin or Buzz Aldrin. He was the second astronaut to set foot on the Moon. The first and foremost astronaut was the American astronaut. He was a great person, right? Neil Armstrong. So Neil Armstrong is our answer, my dear children. So where is Neil Armstrong? In the second one, you can observe Neil Armstrong. So he was the first and foremost astronaut to set foot on the Moon, right? Next one. Which is the second brightest natural object in the sky after moon in night? So I told you about this question. Actually, I was explaining this thing about when we are discussing about the earlier questions, my dear children. I told you that Venus is the second brightest object that can be seen in the night sky apart from moon. Moon is the first and foremost bright object. Then apart from moon, the second brightest object that we can see within the night sky is the planet Venus, right? Planet Venus. So our answer would be Venus. This is the second object that we can observe within the night sky, right? Other than the moon, right? Second brightest one, right? Okay. Then the next question. Which of the following planets are gas giants? So gas giants means, my dear children, they are mainly made up with gases. So I told you that there is no crust in it. If there is no certain crust in it like this, so in our planet Earth, we can stand on planet Earth without any trouble, because our planet Earth is made up with a solid crust. However, in gas giants, my dear children, we can't observe a solid crust. There is no solid surface. These things are made up with gases. So there are 4 solid planets in our solar system. Those 4 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. These 4 planets are in the solid state. However, all the other planets are in the gaseous state. So you don't need to select responses which contains Earth, which contains Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Go for the other planets, right? Go for the response that has other planets except for those 4. So here Mercury is given, incorrect. Then in the next one, Mercury and Venus and Mars is given, once again incorrect. Then in the 4th one, Earth and Mars is given, once again incorrect. So our correct answer should be, my dear children, Jupiter and Saturn. Both these are considered as gas giants. I told you that when you take Saturn, if you can dip Saturn in a water bath, Saturn will float. It's because the density of Saturn is even more less than the density of water. It won't sink in water if you can dip Saturn in a water bath. Next one. The tilting of the Earth is responsible for. Tilting of the Earth is responsible for change of days. No, incorrect. Change of days occurs because of the rotation of the Earth, right? Because of the rotation of the Earth, change of days occurs. Next one, change of the sun's rays. Irrelevant. Change of the sun's rays, irrelevant. Change of the seasons. So tilting of the Earth is responsible mainly for what? Change of the season, right? Change of the season. Actually, this tilting is the main reason for having seasonal changes. So change in seasons occurs, my dear children, mainly because of the tilting. So tilting helps to seasonal changes. Seasonal changes. Next one. The revolution of the Earth around Sun is responsible mainly for change in days. Once again incorrect. Change in days occurs mainly because of the rotation of the Earth. When Earth is going to rotate one cycle around itself, one day is going to pass. So change of days are going to occur because of the rotation of the Earth. Okay, second one, change of the sun's rays. Once again it is irrelevant. Next one, change of the season. Incorrect. Seasonal changes occur because of the tilt. In the earlier question we discussed that. Then the last one, change of years. Here, the revolution of the earth around sun mainly responsible for the change of years. 1 year means the time taken by planet Earth to complete one cycle around the sun. So when it is going to complete 2 cycles, 2 years are going to pass. When the earth is rotating 3 cycles around the sun, 3 years is going to pass. So change of years mainly occur because of the revolution of planet Earth around our sun, my dear children. That's the main reason for the occurrence of what? For the occurrence of, or for the changing of years. Next one. Rotation of the earth is responsible for, very straightforward question. In the earlier questions, when we are discussing about earlier 2 questions, my dear children, I told you the days are going to change mainly because of the rotation of the earth around itself. So one rotation around itself is going to complete 1 day. So the rotation is the main reason for the completion of days, my dear children. So days are the ones which are going to change upon the rotation. So rotation of the earth is responsible for change of days. Next question. Not a celestial object. Celestial objects are the ones that can be visible in the outer space or in our sky. But you have to observe the outer space, not within our atmosphere, but the outer space. So it should be way more than 100 kilometers from our sea level. Okay, way more than 100 kilometers from our sea level. Right? Even though all the objects are going to, now if you see sun, meteor, helicopter and a planet, all of these things can be observed within the sky. However, my dear children, helicopter is within the range of our atmosphere. It's not going to pass 100 kilometers of an altitude. So therefore, helicopter cannot be considered as a celestial object. Celestial object means, my dear children, it should be located within the space. Space in the sense here, it should be like way more greater than 100 kilometers from the Earth's surface. So helicopter is the one which cannot be considered as a celestial object. Next one. A country without distinct seasonal changes. Now, in order to observe a seasonal change, a particular country should be located not near to equator. It should located away from the equator in order to observe, right? In order to observe seasonal changes. If the particular country is a tropical country, that means if it is located near to equator, my dear children, we can't observe any seasonal changes. That's why in Sri Lanka also we can't observe distinct seasonal changes. So here the question is asking a country that do not go or that do not show distinct seasonal changes. So you select an answer which is somewhat closer to the equator. Okay, select an answer which is somewhat closer to the equator. So if that country is closer to the equator, then my dear children, that particular country will not show any seasonal changes. Distinct seasonal changes cannot be observed. So Australia, it is observed at the, or it is near to the south pole of the earth. So Australia is a country that undergoes in seasonal changes because here the Australia is located near to polar regions, my dear children. So it is incorrect. Canada, once again, very closer to the northern hemisphere or very closer to the North Pole. So therefore, Canada is incorrect. Then New Zealand, once again, a country somewhat closer to the South Pole. So incorrect. Thailand, however, my dear children, it's somewhat near to the equator. So it is a tropical country. So in Thailand, we can't observe any distinct seasonal changes, similar to Sri Lanka. So Thailand should be our answer. The maximum time duration that a point of Earth experience a total solar eclipse. This is very simple. 7.5 minutes is the answer. 7.5 minutes. So 7.5 minutes means 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So this is the time taken, right? This is the time taken. This is the time, my dear children, the maximum time taken or the maximum time duration that a point in our Earth, right, experience a what? A total solar eclipse. So total solar eclipse is visible for a certain point for about 7 minutes and 30 seconds. In simple, 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes. Next one. Correct answer. Select the correct answer. So you have to select the correct answer. First one. We can observe solar eclipses more often. Incorrect. Incorrect. We can't observe solar eclipses more often. The number of solar eclipses which are going to occur is somewhat less. Actually, it is very less. So we can't observe solar eclipses very often, my dear children. We discussed this thing under the eclipses, right? Solar eclipses are not that much often, but lunar eclipses are more often, right? The number of solar eclipses that we can observe is very less than the number of lunar eclipses. So there are plenty of lunar eclipses which are going to occur and which are also observable, right? So observable lunar eclipses count is way more greater than the solar eclipses. So it is incorrect. Next one. It is very safe to observe a solar eclipse using goggles. Incorrect. I told you that when we are discussing about the lesson part regarding the eclipses, using goggles we can observe a solar eclipse, no problem. But however, it is not that much safe because we are directly looking at the sun. No. If you are going to look directly, if you are going to look the sun directly, then harmful rays might come and fall to your eyes. So it's going to harm your eyes, my dear children, for sure. So therefore, it's very important not to observe solar eclipses directly from our naked eye. Okay? It's not that much safe to use goggles even, because as you know that you are using goggles, but however you are looking at the sun even by using goggles is not safe. Best method to observe a solar eclipse is to use a reflection, like by keeping a water basket or else a water basin. You can get the reflection of the solar eclipse to that particular water surface. So that reflection is okay to watch, or else by using a telescope. By using a telescope and taking that particular picture to a separate screen, you can observe the solar eclipse. Solar eclipses should not be looked by using your normal naked eyes. Even you can't use covers. Those things are not that much safe. Okay. Then the next one. Number of lunar eclipses we can observe is very less. Once again incorrect. No. Like I said, when we are discussing about this point, the number of lunar eclipses that we can observe is not less but very high. We can observe more lunar eclipses than the solar eclipses. Then the fourth one, lunar eclipse can be observed from naked eye. Absolutely, it is correct. There is no problem in observing a lunar eclipse from naked eye. We can directly observe a lunar eclipse from our naked eye, right? Because lunar eclipse is going to occur during the night time period and also on a full moon day. So here we are looking at the moon, so there is no problem in it. We can directly observe a lunar eclipse from our naked eye. There is no problem. So the correct answer for the question 28 would be lunar eclipse can be observed from naked eye. Next one, not a reason for seasonal changes on Earth. Not a reason for seasonal changes. Revolution of the Earth actually does. It's a main reason for the occurrence of seasonal changes. Next one, having a tilt to its orbital plane. Once again, correct. Having a tilt to orbital plane is going to cause seasonal changes. Rotation of the Earth around itself. That should be our answer, my dear children. Rotation is not going to help to create a seasonal change. Rotation is going to help to create out a certain day, right? A certain day. So change of days is going to mainly occur because of the rotation of planet Earth. No, seasonal changes mainly occur because of the revolution of planet Earth around our sun and because of the tilt shown by the Earth to its orbital plane. 30th question. Select the incorrect statement. So here you have to select the incorrect statement, my dear children. Penumbral lunar eclipse is hard to observe. Penumbral lunar eclipse is hard to observe. Penumbral one. So when the shadow, or when you take the shadow of our Earth, you know that we can divide that shadow into two parts as umbra and penumbra. However, if the moon is located at the penumbra region, my dear children, penumbral lunar eclipse is going to occur. And penumbral lunar eclipse is very hard to observe. Penumbral lunar eclipse is very hard to observe because when you take penumbral lunar eclipse, my dear children, the penumbral lunar eclipse is hard to observe because there is no distinct change in the brightness of the sun, brightness of the moon, right? There is no distinct change in the brightness of the moon. So therefore, penumbral lunar eclipses are somewhat hard to observe. So this point is correct. During a total lunar eclipse, moon has a reddish color. Once again, it is correct. Straightforward theory questions, my dear children. Straightforward theoretical parts. When you check a lunar eclipse, in a total lunar eclipse, moon has a reddish color, reddish brown color, so it is correct. No problem. Lunar eclipses are observed only on full moon days. Once again, correct, no? In order to observe lunar eclipse, there should be moon in the sky. So the full moon days, on full moon days, we can observe lunar eclipses. So that is also correct. There is no problem in it. Then the fourth one should be the incorrect one. Let's see. Lunar eclipses occur when the moon comes in between sun and earth. Incorrect, my dear children. Why is that? Because when moon comes in between sun and earth like this is the sun, this is the moon, this is earth. So in that case, what is the phenomena which is going to occur? Now in this case, when moon is located between sun and earth, in this case like this, for the people who are around in this area will not be able to observe the sun. So this is regarding what? A solar eclipse. This is how a solar eclipse is going to occur, not a lunar eclipse. So in order to occur a lunar eclipse, earth should come in between the moon and sun. So this is the incorrect statement. Lunar eclipses occur when the moon comes in between sun and earth. It is incorrect. It is incorrect. So my dear children, here now we have discussed 30 MCQ questions, extra questions, right? So from this point forward, I'm going to finish up the chapter, my dear children. So in the next chapter, we'll be discussing even more questions related to the lesson, right? So I'll meet you with the next chapter to discuss the next questions in our lesson part. Okay. So within our next chapter, we'll be discussing about the other questions.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.